Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video of the new Future Card Buddyfight Hollow Black Dragon Trial Deck. My name is Simon and I'll be doing the unboxing today. So this is the new trial deck for the new series of Buddyfight Triple D. This is the Darkness Dragon World Trial Decks. There's 3 new trial decks in total, and what I'm going to do today is just open this up and show you what's inside. So obviously you get your new 52 card deck in there, which I'll go through shortly. I'll show you also what's in here. So you get a life counter in there, so if you don't want to use dice and stuff, you want to use this nice and pretty. And you just pull that out and you slide it up and down to show the numbers, or if you've managed to gain lots of life, then you can use it to track life that way as well. So that just slides back in, you just slide it up and down to show the life. You also get in there a fold-out leaflet, which has the mat, if you're new to the game. So just lets you, shows you where to place everything. So left, centre and right for your monsters, your flag or item and your buddy, drop zone and deck, and where your gauge go, and even a little turn progress reminder. And on the back we just have an advert and explanation for the other trial decks. Like I said, that's 3 in total. So there's the Dragon World, the Star Dragon World, and the one I'm videoing at the moment, Darkness Dragon World. So 3 total decks for the series. And you also get in here a handy little rulebook, as you can see, read from the other side. So you flip this over, it's got a little comic at the beginning, a little manga explaining the rules. I think it's got the protagonist's new buddy Bal in there, for those of you who've read the previous one. And then it goes on to explain all the different cards and how to actually play the game. One of the new card types, for those of you who already know how to play Buddyfight, one of the new card types is the new Impact Monster. So these are played during your final phase of the game, and they even get to attack. So they're fairly nasty. Obviously, make sure you read through the rules first. Once I can get through the cellophane, I'll show you. So we've got it right on top here. So this gets played as a monster on your field, but it's also an impact at the same time. So it costs you 2 gauge, and you have to destroy a black dragon monster on your field. Thankfully the deck's full of them. And then it counts as a 7,000 power, 6,000 defense, critical 3, size 3 monster, which is fairly nasty. It also has the ability, when it enters the field, destroy a card on your opponent's field. So yeah, you have to destroy one of yours to get this big guy out, but you get to take one of theirs with it as well. You get one of those in hollow in there. If I quickly flick to the back, we have the flag. But you also get 3 normal versions, so you have 4 copies of that in there in total. So then we're on to the rest of the deck. We have up here the size 3 monster, so your big boss of the deck. This is Twin Blade Black Dragon Zal. Oh, pardon me, Zalcandira. I'll go with that pronunciation. My apologies. So, this size 3 monster with 7,000 power, 5,000 defense and 2 critical. To play it, the core cost is 2 gauge and put 2 black dragons from your drop zone into its soul. Then if there are 5 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone, this card gets double attack, and it also has soul guard, so if it be destroyed, you instead remove something from its soul. You're going to see a recurring theme through this deck about forcing your opponent to discard cards, so a lot of the cards in here care about how many cards are in your opponent's drop zone. So it's a recurring theme. So you get one hollow in there, and then 1 normal as well. So size 2 monster here is Black Plate Dragon Pentagra. 7,000 power, 4,000 defense, 2 critical, no abilities, just a nice vanilla simple beat stick with a good power. And we get 4 of those. Then we have Black Assailant Gothgorobi. Size 2, 6,000 power, 5,000 defense, 2 critical, costs 2 gauge to play, and when it enters the field, destroy a monster on your opponent's field. That's a pretty nice ability. Also feeding into the number of cards in your opponent's drop zone, which is something you do need to keep track of whilst playing this deck. And you get 2 of those in there, so I want to look at getting a couple more of those. Then we have Black Companion, Befagol. Size 2 monster, 4,000 power, 4,000 defense, but with 3 critical, so he's low on the attacking and defending stats, but with that 3 crits, nice. And when this card is destroyed, which is quite easy to do, put the top 2 cards of each fighter's deck into their owner's drop zone, and you gain life. So that's really interesting that even though it's so weak, it's got this high critical, so your opponent needs to deal with it, but when they do finally deal with it, they're fulfilling more of your agenda, so putting cards into their drop zone, and you get to gain a life from it. And you get the 3 of those in there. Then we have Black Cradle, Crabless. This is a size 1 monster, 6,000 power, 1,000 defense, and a crit of 1, so some fairly weak stats there. But when he attacks and destroys a monster, put the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck into their drop zone. More milling, to use a term from Magic the Gathering. Milling refers to putting cards from the top of your opponent's deck directly into their drop zone. That's why he has such weak stats, because he's not there to deal damage to your opponent, or arguably even to survive. He's just, he's just there to kill monsters and force your opponent to have to mill cards. And we get 3 of those in there. Then we have Black Shock, Nogudeth. Another size 1, 4,000 power, 1,000 defense, 3 critical. So he's really nasty at punishing your opponent's life total. However, he does cost a gauge to play. And we have 4 of those. Then we have Black Gloom Balsam. So size 1 monster, 3,000 power, 1,000 defense, 2 critical. And when this card enters the field, if you have another Black Dragon monster on your field, which the deck has loads of them, so this attribute here, put the top card of your deck into your gauge. So filling it with gauge, ready to play out some of the bigger, nastier cards. And we have 2 of those. Now we have Black Rampage Fanagal. Size 1 monster, 2,000 power, 2,000 defense, and 2 crit. Nice and symmetrical stats there, I like that. And he has move, so at the beginning of each player's attack phase, if this card's on the field, you can move this card to an open monster area. This is useful if you want to keep your center open for attacking through with, say, an item, and then you can move it around on the next turn to defend yourself with. And we get 4 of those. Then we have Black Star Sias. 1,000 power, 1,000 defense, but with 2 critical, so it's only size 1, so you can size 0, so you can feel your field with these. Again, this is focusing on just hitting your opponent to deal damage, and with no ability, that's pretty much all you want him down for. And sadly, he's not going to survive for very long. When you do, you get 2 of those. Now we're on to the spells. So this is Void Slasher. You can only cast this card if there are 5 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone. This is where the drop zone is becoming more relevant. Costs a gauge to play, but deal 1 damage to your opponent. And then if there are 10 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone, deal 3 damage to your opponent instead. So not 4 in total, it changes up to 3. And you can only do this once per turn, so you can't chain these to finish your opponent off, sadly. Although dealing 3 damage might be enough to finish them. You get 2 in there. We have Abyss Symphony. So this is a reprint but with new artwork. It's a spell which you can only cast if you have 6 or less life. Costs you a gauge, and you get to draw 2 cards. This costs you can only do this once per turn. So drawing more cards is always a good advantage. So you get 2 of those. Then we have Deathbreak spell. Cast cost is 3 gauge. So the one we saw earlier, which pumps up your gauge, is going to be necessary, I feel here. Counter, destroy a monster on your opponent's field. This is even better than a lot of the decks which have shields, because it removes the monster permanently by killing it. And also, by killing it, it's putting it into your opponent's drop zone, fulfilling more of your conditions. And we get 3 of those. Then we have Dark Spirit. So, this is also a spell, and it's counter, choose a black dragon monster in battle, and for this battle it gets plus 3,000 power, defense, and counter attack. So with those kinds of stat buffs, hopefully your monster will be around long enough to do its counter attack and finish off its adversary. We get 4 of those. Then we have the other reprint, which is a Black Dragon Shield. So you can only cast this card if you will be dealt damage, and if you do not have a monster in the center. And counter, the damage is reduced to 0, and you gain a life. Very useful for keeping you alive when your opponent thinks they're about to cinch the win. You get 4 of those. Now we have the items. This is the Sickle of Revenge Avenger. 5,000 power with 2 critical, costs a gauge and a life to play it, but when it attacks, put the top card of your opponent's deck into their drop zone, and then if there are 6 or more cards in your opponent's drop zone for this turn, this card gets Penetrate, so that 2 crit has a high chance of going through. Let me get 2 of those. Then we have Black Dragonblade Evil Fearless, 3,000 power, 2 crit, but with no abilities, but at least no cost to play it either, so just something nice and decent to have as an item equipped, just to hopefully maybe punch a hole through your opponent's centre. We get 4 of those. So there we go. That's all the cards that are in the trial deck. I think this one focuses primarily on sort of more towards the late game. Early on, you just need to be trying to get cards into your opponent's drop zone as they play stuff. Obviously, more cards will be going into their drop zone, and then you can utilise some of these big guy finishers later on to finish them off, punish them for their insolence, as someone who's into darkness might say. So yeah, I think this one's got a bit more of a strategy to it than the other trial decks, just because of that focus on the drop zone. But I think that also, in turn, makes it far more interesting to play. It's not just a straightforward beat stick. So there we go, that is everything that's in the trial deck. So remember, all the cards you've seen here today can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk, as individual cards. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll also be doing unboxings for the other 2 trial decks for the new Triple D Buddyfight, so check those out if you're curious as well. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and then that's bye from me, Simon, and I'll see you next time. Bye.